2026 Bentley Flying Spur versus Rolls-Royce Ghost. Which do the elite actually drive? At the highest level of wealth, your car says everything about you. One tells the world you're in control. The other says you don't even need to be. This is the difference between the Bentley Flying Spur and the Rolls-Royce Ghost, and the choice reveals far more than most people realize. Because at this level, people are not just buying transportation, they're choosing identity. They're choosing how they want to be seen. And more importantly, how they want to be understood. On the surface, both of these cars sit at the absolute top of the luxury world. They are handcrafted, expensive, and designed for individuals who already have access to everything most people can only dream of. But the similarity ends there, because the Flying Spur and the Ghost represent two completely different philosophies of wealth. The Bentley Flying Spur is built around the idea of control. It's a car designed for someone who doesn't just want to arrive, but wants to drive. Under the hood, it delivers serious performance. Whether it's the W12 engine or newer hybrid configurations, the power is immediate and responsive. This is not a passive experience. It's something you feel every time you press the accelerator, every time you take a corner, and every time you interact with the car. But the real story is not the engine, it's the intention. The interior is designed around the driver. The steering response, the positioning of controls, the entire layout pulls you into the experience. You are not sitting inside the car, you are operating it. And that detail matters more than people think. Because for a certain type of wealthy individual, driving is not just a necessity, it's a statement. It says that you are still engaged. It says that you built your success through action. It says that you are in control of your environment, your movement, and your direction. This is why the Bentley Flying Spur resonates so strongly with entrepreneurs, athletes, and self-made millionaires. These are individuals who associate success with effort, momentum, and decision-making. They don't want to step back from that, they want to feel it. For them, sitting behind the wheel is not a downgrade, it's part of the experience. Now look at the Rolls-Royce Ghost. Everything changes, because the Ghost is not designed around control. It's designed around removal. Removal of effort, removal of noise, removal of responsibility. The goal is not to enhance the driving experience. The goal is to make it disappear. The suspension system is engineered to absorb imperfections so effectively that the road almost feels irrelevant. The cabin is incredibly quiet, creating an environment that feels more like a private lounge than a vehicle. And most importantly, you are not expected to drive it. You are expected to sit in the back. That one shift transforms the entire meaning of the car, because being driven sends a completely different signal. It suggests that your time is too valuable to be spent on tasks like driving. It implies that you operate at a level where details are handled by others. It communicates distance from the mechanics of everyday life, and that is a very powerful message. This is why the Rolls-Royce Ghost is often associated with royalty, legacy wealth, and ultra-high net worth individuals who operate behind the scenes. For them, luxury is not about interaction. It's about detachment. And this is where the real tension begins, because these two cars are not just different, they are opposites. One represents action, the other represents authority. One is about participation, the other is about presence. And the choice between them reveals how someone defines success. Even the pricing structure reinforces this distinction. The Rolls-Royce Ghost typically starts at a higher price point, often exceeding $350,000, depending on configuration. The Bentley Flying Spur, while still extremely expensive, generally sits slightly below that level. But at this tier, Price is not about affordability, it's about signaling. Paying more is not about necessity, it's about intention. And Rolls-Royce has built its entire brand around that idea. The Ghost does not try to impress. It assumes that you are already impressed. It does not rely on performance to justify itself. It relies on presence. Bentley, on the other hand, operates with a different energy. It blends luxury with motion. It allows the owner to remain part of the experience. And that difference becomes even more visible when you look at the type of people who choose each one. The Bentley Flying Spur tends to attract what is often referred to as new money. Individuals who built their wealth through innovation, risk, and active involvement. People who still enjoy control and still associate success with movement. The Rolls-Royce Ghost, in contrast, aligns more with old money. Individuals who inherited systems of influence, legacy, and long-standing status. People who no longer need to prove anything for them. Silence speaks louder than performance. Distance speaks louder than action. And presence speaks louder than effort. But this distinction is not always absolute, because in reality, many ultra-wealthy individuals own both, and they use them differently. The Bentley becomes the choice when they want to engage, when they want to feel power, control, and movement, when they want to actively participate in the experience. The Rolls-Royce becomes the choice when they want to arrive, when they want to project authority without saying a word, when they want the world to adjust around them. Customization also highlights this difference in philosophy. Bentley's Mulliner division allows for deep personalization, offering a wide range of materials, finishes, and configurations. It enhances the car and makes it unique, but it still operates within a performance-focused framework. Rolls-Royce takes customization further. Through its bespoke program, clients can create entirely one-of-one vehicles. Interiors can be designed around personal stories, materials can be sourced from rare origins, and details can be crafted to reflect individual identity. At that level, the car stops being a product. It becomes a personal artifact. And that aligns perfectly with the idea of ultimate status. Because when something is built entirely around you, it no longer follows the rules of the market. It becomes its own category. Geography also plays a role in shaping these preferences. In the United States, where driving is closely tied to identity and independence, the Bentley Flying Spur feels like a natural choice. It fits a culture that values control, movement, and personal expression. In regions such as the Middle East, Europe, and parts of Asia, where chauffeur-driven lifestyles are more common, the Rolls-Royce Ghost becomes more dominant. It aligns with a different understanding of luxury, one that emphasizes presence over participation. These cultural differences reinforce the idea that luxury is not universal. It is contextual. It adapts based on how people experience wealth within their environment. And yet, despite all these variables, one thing remains consistent. The choice between Bentley and Rolls-Royce is never random. It is always intentional, because at this level, every detail carries meaning. Every decision communicates something. Every object becomes a signal. And that is what makes this comparison so powerful, because it forces a deeper question. Do you want to be seen as the person who controls the machine, or the person who no longer needs to? Do you want to show effort, or show that effort is no longer required? Do you want to participate in the experience, or exist above it? There is no right answer, but there is always a message, and that message defines how others perceive you. Because at the highest level of wealth, luxury is no longer about comfort. It is about identity. The Bentley Flying Spur represents movement, control, and engagement. It reflects a mindset that values action, presence, and involvement. The Rolls-Royce Ghost represents stillness, authority, and detachment. It reflects a mindset that values calm, control, and quiet dominance. Both are powerful. Both are elite, but they are not the same. And that difference is exactly what makes this choice so important. Because in the end, this is not about cars. It is about how you choose to exist in a world where everything is already available to you. And once you reach that level, what you choose says everything. If you want to understand how the elite use luxury not just to enjoy life, but to communicate power, influence, and identity, make sure you subscribe, because this world isn't just expensive, it's intentional.